a nigga back. Nigga back with another motherfucking live, you hear me? I'm getting used to this shit, dog. You know what I'm saying? Nigga just getting used to it. You understand me? Snax on Sportz. I'm back with another live rolling up. You know what I'm talking about? I already got one rolled. You know what I'm saying? But check this out, though, dog. Check this out, dog. You feel me? So today on this video, I wanted to address, you know what I'm saying, the whole super team era. You know what I mean? In basketball, in the NBA. And how I think this shit is over. You know what I'm talking about? The motherfucking shit is over. The super team era is over. And we can blame the Golden State Warriors for it. Not solely the Golden State Warriors, but I'm gonna let y'all know what I mean and why I say the Golden State Warriors. Because I believe the San Antonio Spurs got something to do with it too. But the super team era is over now. Or at least in my belief, I think it's over, right? So check this out. So that was what? 2000, what year was it? It was the year 2011, or well, really was 2010, but 10, 11, 2010/2011, because the NBA seasons start at the end of the calendar year and continue on. You know what I'm saying? So they overlap. Like baseball is 1 year. It's all in the same year. Football is almost all in the same year. But the postseason is always that following year. So for example, the 2014 Patriots, okay, they won the Super Bowl, but they didn't. The year they won it, actually, it was technically 2015 when they won it, but it was the 2014 year. Anyway, 2010, 2011 is the year LeBron James decided to take his college to South Beach and go to Miami. I was happy for him. I never, felt no type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he made the move to go to Miami, everybody was mad, this, and that, and blah, 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 this, and that, or whatever, whatever. I don't know if they was, mad at the way he did it or whatever. But that man had fulfilled his contract. He didn't feel like he can win in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So he chose to go elsewhere, right? But he didn't just go elsewhere. They joined forces and to create a super team with LeBron James, who is quote unquote, most people would say he was the best player in the league at the time. I think it was Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Because he hadn't won no championships yet. So, and Kobe had just won number 5. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, Kobe was the best player in the league. But okay, I give LeBron, if that's what y'all want to say. So LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, who was a top 5 player at that time. People forget that. Okay, they always think about the Dwayne Wade towards the very end of his career when he was injury prone and he had slowed down and he was always hurt. But at the time when LeBron James had joined forces with Dwayne Wade was a top 5 player in the league. You know what I'm saying? He had already won a championship, won a Finals MVP with the Heat a few years earlier. But Miami had they'd taken a little bit of a step back at that time since they had won that championship. You know what I mean? And so him and LeBron teamed up. And then lastly, they added Chris Bosh. Now, people always want to talk shit about Chris Bosh, or maybe not talk shit, but make fun of him or whatever, whatever he saw or whatever the situation may be. But they forget that He came from the Toronto Raptors, where he was a perennial all-star, averaging 20 and 10 for consecutive years. Okay. Um, so, and he could have been, it wouldn't have been out of the conversation for somebody to call him a top 5 player in the league at that time. So if I'm gonna equate it to today's NBA, I would say at that time, LeBron James teaming up with Chris Bosh in Miami was equivalent to LeBron James like teaming up with Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying? For when he was in New Orleans and then went to the Lakers. Basically, I'm not saying that Chris Bosh is a better overall player than Anthony Davis. You know what I mean? Or nothing like that. I'm just saying at the point where Chris Bosh was in his career at that time, it was like the level of like what Anthony Davis was. You know what I'm saying? When he was with the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Davis was widely known, or is widely known. I mean, to me, you know what I'm saying? I would probably give him, top 10 or something now, but you know what I mean? Because when you see Anthony Davis play now with the Lakers, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's because he got with them. I don't know, but it's not the same level of same caliber of player. He's still good, you know what I mean? But it's just something about, I just don't feel like he bring it every night or the passion ain't there every night for whatever. Or if you feel like I'm on the team with LeBron James, so I could, I can chill on some nights or whatever. I ain't got to go all out, whatever the situation is. I don't know. But I say that to say that Chris Bosh was equivalent to what Anthony Davis was, leaving New Orleans. So I'm just basically trying to give y'all so y'all can, because what we like to do, and not in just, in sports media and all that, but just in life in general, out of sight, out of mind. So we forget easily what somebody done or what they used to be or whatever, you know what I mean? If we hadn't seen that in a while. But I'm just reminding y'all of the type of player, the caliber player that Chris Bosh was when he teamed up with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. So we got that out the way. Now, so that created a super team, right? Now people will say, "Oh, well, that wasn't the first." No, I understand. Yeah, we understand that, in the the 60s and the 70s and 80s, we had teams, that had multiple players that are Hall of Fame players. You know what I'm saying? If we want to talk about the 80s Lakers with Magic and Kareem and James Worthy and Byron Scott and I mean just countless other players. Michael Cooper and what's the other nigga that recently went to the Hall of Fame over the past few years? I forget his name, but old school nigga. But you got that. And you got the Celtics with, in the 80s with Bird and McHale and Robert Parrish and Danny Ainge and the redhead nigga Dennis Johnson, rest in peace. Luke, Bill Walton, you know what I mean? It goes on and on. We want to go back to the 60s Celtics and shit with Russell and Havlicek and all that shit. I can't remember all the niggas' names, but y'all get the point. You know what I'm saying? So the Miami Heat having, 3 or 4 potential future Hall of Fame players on their team, it's not nothing new. But just the way that they went about doing it. Now, I didn't mind it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? If you want to team up with your homie, team up with your nigga and all that. You know what I'm saying? To go win or, or whatever. Do your damn thing. My only issue with that is that you can't stack the deck and try to make it, so that your team is so much better than the rest of the league to where it's damn near impossible for you to lose. So then when you don't lose and you win, now you want to say, you better than Michael Jordan. Or it don't work like that. Jordan didn't have to do. Jordan stayed right with the team that drafted him. Okay. And he made Scottie Pippen better. He made Horace Grant better. He made B.J. Armstrong and John Paxson and Tony Kukoc. He made all of those players better. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, not knocking that LeBron chose to leave and go somewhere else. I never knocked that. Go do what the fuck you want to do. But you can't say you better than Michael Jordan. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? You all had already lost the finals anyway. Once you lose the finals, that's it. You can't, you know what I mean? Jordan is unblemished, man. He didn't lose no finals, nigga. When he got there, your ass was grass. You wasn't winning shit, bitch. You feel me? So, so it had, you know, this is not the first time that happened where, you know, you had a collection of talent, you know what I mean? You know, with players, you know, future Hall of Famers to all be on the same team. That's usually what it takes to win. It was just the fact that how they put it together. Usually the team put it together, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? You know, whatever, right? So they put that team together. They had the little parade, and before the season started, these niggas had a fucking championship parade. You know what I'm saying? Before this shit, and they said, not 1, not 2, not 5, not 6, not 7. Them niggas was up there cocky. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas just knew they was gonna win a championship, right? Not that they was gonna win a championship, they was gonna win multiple. You feel me? So you know what I'm saying? Man, they went on ahead, man. They went on ahead and created this, you know, the Heatles. You know what I'm saying? Miami Heat. You know what I mean? Not the Beatles, the Heatles. I liked that name. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty dope. So check this out. First year, what happened? They get all the way to the finals. It took them a little while at the beginning of the season to kind of like see how they was going to play together or whatever, but they got to the finals. And to me, they lost to an inferior team. You know what I'm saying? Like the Miami Heat with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh were a better team. They were supposed to win that finals. Okay. They were a better team than Dallas Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? Even though, yeah, Dallas had Dirk, the all-time great. But as far as like a star players, that's it. That's all they had. Now, J.J. Barea played an intricate role. Deshaun Stevenson, Jason Terry, Jason Kidd. You know, what's the tall nigga? Tyson Chandler, I believe. You know what I'm saying? All of them, it takes a team. So all of them obviously helped. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't no damn way the Miami Heat was supposed to lose that motherfucking finals. The reason why they lost that finals, okay, if you ask me, is because the moment was too big for LeBron James. Just go back and look at the tape, man. Just I'm not saying now he's overcome, you know what I mean? You know, since that moment in 2011, he's overcome it. You know what I mean? So I give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? To you know, he exercised those demons or whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? But I mean, he flat out choked. If LeBron James plays like how LeBron James is supposed to play in the finals, in particular in the fourth quarter of all of them of those games, they win that. They should have won that 4-2. You know what I mean? But what happened was, for whatever reason, the moment just got a little bit too big for him, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, for whatever, you know, it just and I think it was like 4 or 5 consecutive fourth quarters, he just crumbled, bro. You know what I'm saying? Never seen a player of his caliber, you know what I'm saying? Like just, I mean, it's like they just snatched his heart. Like he was scared. You know what I mean? Like so, and this is kind of something different, or what I'm about to say, but it's not necessarily pertaining to the super team topic. But another thing that you can take from that is, and to me, that's why he can never be better than Michael Jordan. It's not just that he lost, okay, but how they lost, bro. Like it's like they got in his head, and he wasn't able to. You know what I mean? When somebody get in your head, this has happened to me before in the basketball court. Sorry to say, that's why I didn't make it to professional sports. You know what I mean, or to the NBA or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It takes a certain level of mental strength, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you allow for somebody to get into your head, and and whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? To like, you cannot do your job properly because you thinking about what this person did or said, or you know what I mean, or so your brain and your mind is the mind, your brain. What did I say? It controls everything in your body. Without the brain, you can't none of this shit. Now I'm doing all this talking and moving my hands. It's my brain telling me. It's my brain sending signals to my arm. When I want to go like this, my brain sent that signal to my arm. If my brain didn't work, I couldn't do this. You see what I'm saying? So when somebody get in your head, my nigga, and you allow for that to happen, that's the reason why they lost that. You know what I mean? Now say whatever you want to say about Jordan and Kobe. Now, yeah, once Jordan got to the top and he reached the level that he reached to the mountaintop, he never relinquished that title. You know what I'm saying? But he had some moments before he started winning championships. Kobe Bryant, same thing. He lost some finals, he lost some games or whatever. But one thing you can't never say is a motherfucker snatched this motherfucking heart. Him or Jordan or Kobe. Never. They might have lost, but you didn't punk them. That's what the fuck you didn't do. You just played better. You just beat them. But you didn't. You ain't snatching their heart. LeBron allowed for these people to snatch his heart, man. That's the reason why they lost. Okay. Now, next year, they beat OKC, a young up and coming OKC team who, to me, was really Golden State Warriors before the Golden State Warriors. Not the style of play or whatever, but OKC with James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams. Nigga, they had the ET looking nigga over there that played for the Clippers now. I forget the nigga name. I know all these niggas' names. Whenever I get on live, I get to forgetting niggas' names or whatever. But anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. The nigga play for the Clippers right now. You know what I'm saying? Point guard. But anyway, so they had a squad, bro. So like that was the team that everybody was looking at as like, okay, this is the next. This gonna be like that next whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, it didn't. They ended up trading James Harden, and then after that, we know the rest of that story. But so they beat OKC, bam. Then the next year, they run into a team, the San Antonio Spurs. Now, they end up winning that series. They probably should have lost that series too. Now, I know motherfuckers say, you shouldn't have, how can you say a motherfucker should have lost if they won? Okay, they did win. But we all know what happened. You know what I'm saying? They up. The Spurs is up 3-2 in that series. It's the final minutes of Game 6. They up, a few points or whatever. Kawhi Leonard, who was a young player at that time, you know what I'm saying? I think he was like a second or third year player, first or second year player. He missed a free throw or two. Manu Ginobili went to the line and missed a free throw or two that would have sealed the championship. But the fact that they missed a couple free throws, it left the door open. And then we all know what happened. Ray Allen ended up hitting that shot in Game 6, tied up the series to go to Game 7. And once they won Game 6, I already knew they're not going to win Game 7. The Spurs, I already knew the Heat was going to win. So they chanced they had to win it in Game 6. That was their chance, and they didn't. So then they go back to back. Then that following year, okay, they get blitzed by the Spurs in the finals. You know what I'm saying? I think the Spurs was so upset that because they felt like they was the better team and they should have beat Miami. You know what I mean? The previous year. So that next year, that whole year, they was out for blood. You know what I'm saying? And then when they finally got to the finals, they blitzed them niggas. They probably should have swept them. I think the Heat only got one game out of them niggas, so they won 4-1. And how they won, it was team basketball. It was ball movement. Now, mind you, this is a year before the Warriors kicked off. Okay, the Warriors were an up and coming team at that time. They were good, but they weren't. Nobody thought they was getting ready to win a championship or whatever. But so that fourth year, okay, when LeBron was in Miami, now they lost again. So now there's 4 years in Miami, 2 for 2 or 2 and 2 in the finals. Lost the first one, won the next 2, lost the last one. And towards the end of his run in Miami, Dwayne Wade was kind of, he was starting to become a little more injury prone and it was sitting out a lot of games. And, LeBron has been like Iron Man, dog. Like, that's one thing I give him in his career, like the most uninjured player of all time and shit. This nigga's like the Terminator, bro. This nigga don't get hurt. Now, obviously, over the past couple of years, there's been a few more injuries, but I mean, it's rightfully so. He's getting older. Nigga, 37 years old now. So, but Dwayne Wade, towards the end of LeBron James's, tenure or whatever with the Miami Heat, he has started to become a little injury prone. So I think LeBron already kind of knew okay, my time is up. So here in Miami. So, what it seemed like is like, oh man, Dwayne Wade kind of fading away a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna need some more help. You know what I mean? So let me go. Let me. You know what I mean? I think he always wanted to end up going back to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that was the perfect time. They had Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? He had established himself already as a really good to great player at that time. Hadn't accomplished anything yet, but he had established himself as a great young talent. LeBron wanted to go back and play with him. And then that same year, the Cleveland Cavaliers had drafted Andrew Wiggins. But, LeBron don't like to play with young players. Like, not that he don't like to play with young players, but if they would have kept Andrew Wiggins, that would have been somebody. He was the number 1 overall draft pick. So that would have been somebody that they would have had to, he would have had to be involved, pretty heavily in whatever the Cleveland Cavaliers was going to be doing that year and trying to win a championship. And LeBron James felt like he's too young. He's not ready. So let's trade him away, send him to Minnesota, bring me Kevin Love. So all he was trying to do was do Miami Heat 2.0 all over again. Him, LeBron James as himself, Kyrie Irving as Dwayne Wade, and Kevin Love as Chris Bosh. So he forms another super team, right? He forms another super team, go back to Cleveland, and this is supposed to be his coronation as he getting ready to win 3-4 championships in a row and be coronated as, if not the greatest player of all time, top 2 or 3 or what the fuck ever. Not so fast, though, grasshopper. There's a how do I want to say this? There was a monkey wrench thrown into the plan. And that motherfucking monkey wrench name, Steph motherfucking Curry. Yeah. See, they didn't see the Warriors coming. He's supposed to go back over there, like I said, and be coordinated, win all these championships in a row, and blah, 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 blah. Steph Curry said, Golden State Warriors said, not so fast, grasshopper. So, and this is where now I just want to give y'all a little backstory of, you know what I mean? But this is where I really get to my point about the super team era being over, right? So, 2014-2015 season, enter the Golden State Warriors. Now, they were already good. Okay, that the year before they won a championship, They had made the playoffs for the second year in a row, which was the first time that had been done in the Warriors franchise in like 20 years. So to go for the Warriors to go to back-to-back postseasons, that was a big deal. Y'all got to understand, I've been a Warriors fan my whole life. We always been shit. We had one good team every 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And then we would go right back down to shit. So we always been shit. So the fact that we made it to back-to-back back-to-back postseasons, oh shit, nigga, we was happy. We would have just been happy with that. But Steve Kerr came in, and shout out Mark Jackson because he laid the foundation of the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? People, they don't like to give him his credit, or they forget that Steve Kerr came into a situation that was to where Mark Jackson did all the hard work. He did all the groundwork. He laid the foundation, building it from dirt to where you even got a house to live in. You know what I'm saying? Steve Kerr took it from okay, I finally got my own house to now let's put, let's remodel it and redecorate and refine it, whatever the fuck. We're gonna take our motherfucking 1-story house to a 2-story house, to make it luxurious. That's what Steve Kerr did. So what happens is, bro, we go throughout that year, Steph Curry is killing it. Ends up winning the MVP. But I'm gonna be honest, even as a Warriors fan, throughout that year, or especially even coming into that year, I didn't think we were gonna win it. I thought we had a good team, but I didn't see no damn championship at the end of the year. Once the year happened, I think that year we went 65. I think we won 65 games. We either won 63, 64, 65 games, something like that. Maybe even 67. I think we were 67-15 that year. You know what I'm saying? And so by the end of the year, it's looking like, okay, they are a very good team. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna be honest, I still, didn't necessarily think that they was gonna win a championship. You know what I mean? I thought that they could get close, maybe get to the second, third round and bow out, or maybe even get to the finals and lose. But you know what I'm saying? I still didn't see them like necessarily winning the championship. You know what I'm saying? And so, and they had a rough go of it in some of the earlier rounds. You know what I'm saying? But definitely Memphis Grizzlies in that second round was like their first test. Their first real test. They ended up being down 2-1 in the series, and then they won 3 in a row, and they went on to the next round against the Rockets. You feel me? And they beat them pretty handily. The game was a little bit. The series was a little more closer than what it ended up being. We beat them 4-1, but it was a little. The series was more competitive than that. And then so we go to the finals. Now, once we got to the finals, to me, now I was all in. Now, did I guarantee a finals victory and shit like that? No, I ain't guarantee no motherfucking finals victory. You know what I'm saying? It was just that, but we was in the finals. So now once you get there, once you get to the dance, anything can happen, right? So bam, I knew that we got a chance to win it once we got to the finals. We ended up getting down 2-1. And so I'm like, all right, we might end up losing this one, blah, blah, blah. But we down 2-1 with game 4 in Cleveland at LeBron's house. You supposed to be the GOAT. You got to take that home. You just playing against little Steph Curry. Y'all got to remember, the Warriors were not the Warriors yet. I think I said this in another video, in one of the earlier videos that I did. The Warriors, they were not the Warriors yet. They weren't the super team, Warriors yet. They were learning how to win still. They hadn't won a championship yet. You know what I mean? And LeBron had already won a championship or won 2 championships, been to mini finals. This is what, his 5th or 6th finals he was in at the time, or 4th or 5th or some shit like that. So he had already been there and had that experience. And so for him to be up 2-1 with that 4th game at home, they could have went up 3-1, and LeBron James, You the next best thing since Michael Jordan, what they tell me, right? So you got to bring that home. But what happened? Steph motherfucking Curry happened. Okay, that game 4 in that fourth quarter, he went crazy. He started out shaky at the beginning of the finals. You know what I'm saying? And then as it went on, he gravitated towards his MVP form. You know what I'm saying? And that game 4, he came up big in the fourth. You know what I mean? Hitting 3 after 3. You know what I mean? Him and Klay Thompson and Andre Iguodala playing that defense. You know what I'm saying? And Draymond Green. Andre Iguodala didn't stop LeBron James. He just made it extremely difficult for him. You know what I'm saying? And then so we ended up tying it up 2-2, and we ended up going to win the series 4-2. Like, what? And won game 6 back at their place at home. You know what I'm saying? In Cleveland. It's like, what? We just won the fucking championship? We won the Golden State Warriors won a fucking NBA championship. I never thought I'd see no shit like that in my whole motherfucking life, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The Golden State Warriors, nigga, we like the motherfucking Sacramento Kings forever, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So man, the Golden State Warriors, they win the championship, right? They beat a super team. Now, I have to say this, okay? Yes, Kevin Love was not there in the finals, okay? He got hurt in the first round against Boston in game 4. His shoulder, dislocated his shoulder. It kept him out for the rest of the postseason. Kyrie Irving, who's kind of always been somewhat injury prone, he got hurt in game 1, okay, in overtime. So a lot of people like to use that as, LeBron James didn't have his blah, blah, blah. Nigga, you LeBron, like, no, it don't work like that. You LeBron James, my nigga. You still, and mind you, I got to keep saying it, the Warriors were not the Warriors yet. When they was in that first finals in 2015, they wasn't the super team, 73 win, we blowing everybody out Warriors. Now, they was blowing people out that year, but I'm saying they hadn't won yet. They was a young team still trying to learn how to win. So it's not like they had been there and been doing it. So it was impossible for LeBron James to win. No, it wasn't impossible. You know what I'm saying? You to go, right? So now the Warriors win the championship. And once they win that championship, nobody's giving the Warriors full credit. It's all, in every round they had somebody that was hurt. Because in the first round, we played the New Orleans Pelicans. I think they had Drew Holiday at that time. You know what I mean? Drew Holiday wasn't there. So, like, Drew Holiday would have made a fucking difference. We swept him. You know what I mean? Okay, if Drew Holiday was there, we would have won 4-1. Okay? So, and then the next series was against the Memphis Grizzlies. And we had, and who did they have out? Mike Conley. Mike Conley Jr. Get the fuck out of here. Mike Conley Jr. wasn't going to be the difference in them winning or losing that series. Okay? It wasn't. We was always going to win that shit. Mike Conley could have been there every game, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We was going to win that series. And in the third series against the Houston Rockets, I forget who they had that was out, but somebody was hurt. You know what I mean? And but it wasn't James Harden. You know what I mean? He was there, and it wasn't Dwight Howard. He was there. You know what I mean? Because at that time, Dwight Howard was on the Rockets. Those were their two best players. You know what I'm saying? So it was just excuses. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't think people could still believe that the Warriors did what they did. And then in the finals, obviously, the Cavs didn't have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. So that was the whole notion. You know what I'm saying? I remember Doc Rivers saying some shit before the next season started. Oh, well, they had it easy, blah, blah, blah. So what the Warriors do? Oh, y'all don't want to give us our credit? Cool. 73 wins, bitch. 73. You hear me? 73 motherfucking wins, unanimous MVP. Steph Curry took the mantle as the best player in the league, and he's been the best player since then. You feel me? So that's what they did. Now, the first game of that year's postseason, we played the Houston Rockets in the first round of our 73 win season. Okay? That first game, Steph Curry balled the fuck out. He had damn near 30 in the first half in game one of round one against the Houston Rockets. In the second half of that game, in the third quarter, he got hurt. It wasn't a torn ACL. It was like a severely sprained ACL or MCL or something like that. Anyway, it was a significant. It was a significant enough injury to where it kept him out the rest of that series and most of the second round. This is the playoffs, so this is obviously a serious injury. If you can play through it, if he could have played through it, he would. Now, he probably came back a little sooner than what he should have. He came back in game 4 of the second round against the Portland Trailblazers. That was the I'm back game when he had 17 points in overtime, and that was the most points that any player has ever scored in an overtime game in playoffs or whatever. And he went crazy. I'm back. You know what I mean? And from that point on, you know what I mean? It was good. In that next round, we played against OKC. We probably should have lost against them. If it ain't for Klay Thompson in game 6, we losing that series. Game 6, Klay showed the fuck up, nigga, and done his motherfucking thing. Okay? But that's all we needed to get back to game 7 and get to the finals. I say that to say in the finals we go up 3-1. Okay. And then we all know the circumstances that happened. Okay. The NBA suspended Draymond Green for some fuck ass shit that they shouldn't have done. But also another reason why I bring that up too about what I just said about Steph is that he was hurt. Okay, in that finals. If this was not let's say he would have got hurt in the middle of the season or the beginning of the season, the type of injury that it was, with the same injury, he wouldn't have came back as soon as he came back. He only came back because it was the postseason. You know what I'm saying? If it was the regular season still, he probably would have needed like another month, maybe another 3 weeks to a month. You know what I'm saying? Before he could really feel comfortable and be healthy. You know what I'm saying? But it was the postseason, and you know they was trying to win a championship. They had won 73 games. History was on the line. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to complete the mission. But they always omit that when they talk about 2016. You know what I mean? They'll bring up the Draymond suspension, which was it changed the momentum of the series. But they always omit the fact that Steph Curry was not 100%. Now he was out there on the court. So, you know, the old age rule is if you're on the court, if you're on the field, hey, if you're hurt, sit your ass down. Because if you out there, then, I mean, you out there. I got to go at you like you 100%. And so I understand that. But I'm just saying that to say that they always talk about how the previous year, how Kevin Love was hurting, Kyrie Irving was hurting, this and that, and blah, 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 blah. But they omit the fact that Steph Curry was hobbled. He wasn't 100%. And that can be proven by, if you go back and watch game 7, how when he was doing what, you know what I mean, when he was doing his Steph Curry stuff, he couldn't really get past Kevin Love. You know what I mean? He couldn't really shake him. Man, ain't no Kevin Love stopping no motherfucking Steph Curry, nigga. He was hurt. And he locked him down. Man, he ain't locked no motherfucking Steph Curry down. He didn't have his full movement. He didn't have his full lateral movements and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's that. Anyway, you feel me? They lose, you know what I'm talking about, that finals. They end up losing game 7. And them motherfuckers act like they got swept or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, blah, 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 blah. That was the moment they knew that they could not beat LeBron James again. They had to go get Kevin Durant. Bullshit, motherfucker. It's just the way that the shit worked out, nigga. Steph Curry was on the very team-friendly contracts. He was on a very team-friendly contract, 4 years, $44 million at the time. because early in his career, he had ankle issues. Okay. So they knew he was a great player, but he had fragile ankles. So before he started getting his big money, he had signed a contract for 4 years, $44 million, which was way under what he should have been getting paid. You know what I'm saying? But he understood that, okay, you know what I mean? This is the contract that they offering me due to my injury history. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, they still giving me something. $11 million a year. This man was grossly underpaid. But the fact that he was on that contract, that allowed for what happened down the road, which was Kevin Durant coming. If Steph Curry wasn't on that, if he was on like a max deal, we wouldn't have been able to get Kevin Durant. We wouldn't have had the money. You know what I mean? The salary cap and all that other shit. So the whole Kevin Durant thing just happened out of it just worked out that way. It wasn't man, we can't beat LeBron no more, man. So let's go get Kevin Durant. Like they got swept or some shit. Nigga, the Warriors was gonna win the championship that next year anyway. Nigga, whether they was gonna do the same thing that the Spurs did when they beat the Heat. They lost to them, barely lost to them in 2013. They came back with a vengeance in 2014. We was gonna do the same thing. We just happened to get Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, and that's what made us a super team. Once Kevin Durant came, that's what made the Golden State Warriors a super team. But the Golden State Warriors were not a super team. Steph Curry was drafted, turned himself into an all-time great. He didn't come into the league as this, he's finna be like LeBron James. He didn't know. Nobody's seen Steph Curry becoming what he became. So just stop that shit. Klay Thompson, he was drafted. Draymond Green was drafted. You know what I'm saying? So our Harrison Barnes, drafted. Festus Ezeli, drafted. So like Iguodala was a free agent signing, but Iguodala was not. That wasn't like signing fucking Kevin Durant. He was a good player at the time. He had came from the Nuggets. We had just eliminated them in the first round. You know what I'm saying? And then then he came to us that next year. Andre Iguodala came to us a year before we won the championship. He came to us in 2013, 2014. Okay, so he was on that team the year before we won the championship when we lost to the Clippers in the first round in Game 7. So he was there. He signed under Mark. He was there for Mark Jackson's last year. Okay, Iguodala was. Okay, so but still, signing Iguodala was not like, the Warriors, they're going to be unbeatable. Nah, it was just a typical free agent signing. You know what I'm saying? To make our team a little bit better. But I say that to say that the Warriors wasn't no super team, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, Steph Curry has something about his game that is unexplainable. It makes everybody else better. Without Steph Curry, none of this shit is possible. So, but when you mix Steph Curry and his whatever the fuck type of godly shit that nigga got going on in his game, along with the experience and the smartness of Steve Kerr and what he brought to the team. Not saying that Mark Jackson wasn't smart. I'm just saying Steve Kerr just we just went up a level when we got Steve Kerr. You know what I mean? And I wasn't happy about it. I wanted us to keep Mark Jackson, but obviously they knew what the fuck they was doing. So when you put that together, put all those things together, it's like they formed something that the NBA world just didn't see coming. And what that is a team. Okay. They didn't just go say, we finna, let's go get James Harden. Let's go get Kevin Durant. Let's go get LeBron James. Let's go get Kobe Bryant. Let's go get Kevin Garnett. And then let's put all these players together and fucking then we're going to go win a championship. Nah. Okay. So they end up getting Kevin Durant that offseason. Okay. And that's what made them the super team. But they were already an all-time great team without Kevin Durant. They won a championship, beat LeBron James in doing it. Okay. And then that next year, they should have won a championship again. But even whatever, they got to the finals. They barely lost in Game 7. They won 73 games. Steph Curry was back-to-back MVP. Second year, unanimous. So, bruh, they was already an all-time great team before Kevin Durant. Before. No team had ever won more than 73 games. Okay? So they was already an all-time great team. But they weren't a super team. If y'all want to say they was a super team, okay, y'all can say they was a super team, but super team implies that you get all of these, you get all of these high level, all-star players, and that weren't all on the same team together, and they come together, to be on the same team to try to win a championship. That's not what we was. All our players is homegrown. You know what I'm saying? The core, you know what I mean? The core of the team was all homegrown. So that's not a super team. That's just drafting well, developing players well. You know what I'm saying? So now, okay. So let me see where I want to go next. So now, how that goes back to the super team era being over is that so we get Kevin Durant, bam. Now everybody want to. Now we're because y'all got to remember the first 2 years of our dynasty run, we were like the lovable team, especially that first year. That first year, everybody was rooting for us. Even if you wasn't a Warriors fan, you was rooting for us. You know what I'm saying? That second year is kind of when some of the hate started to come because we was winning too much, and it just what it is. When you win too much, people don't like it. They want you to lose. You know what I'm saying? It hadn't fully gotten to a hateful level yet, but it was starting. Okay, that second year, once we won 73 games, once we got Kevin Durant, the hate that was it. We from that point on, we was the evil empire. You know what I'm saying? So, and I understand it. But to me, yeah, that made us a super team, but I still don't consider it. We just was a team that was a really great team, an all-time great team that had an all-time great player, and we were fortunate enough to be able to add another all-time great player that wanted to come here. He wanted to come here. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. Okay, y'all want to call it a super team, whatever. But to me, it was still team first. It wasn't just a collection of all-star talent, and I'm going to just put this shit together. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to go win a championship. They won because they were a team. You know what I'm saying? They were. It was cohesion there. You know what I'm saying? So bam. Then that the next 2 years we just blew the league out the water. Won 2 championships. Now 2018 was a little more difficult in the postseason. You know what I mean? The Houston Rockets almost eliminated us that year. You know what I mean? And I would probably say, and this is after we had won that first championship with KD. But I would. It's no way to prove it 100%, but I would probably say that if Chris Paul don't get hurt in that Houston series, they probably beating us, bro, because they was just tough, bro. In particular, Chris Paul. Wasn't really James Harden, but Chris Paul, there's something about Chris Paul, bro. I understand he ain't won no championship yet, and last year was his first time ever getting to the finals, but for some reason, his teams play us good. They play us well. And then look what's happening this year. He with the Phoenix Suns, and it looked like once again, we're headed on the road towards the Warriors versus Chris Paul's team, meeting again. So, but anyway, we won that championship in 2018. So now that was 3 and 4 years. That was back to back, 17 and 18. And then we're trying to go, three-peat. This first team, we would have been the first team to three-peat since not since the Bulls, since the Lakers in the early 2000s. So that's something that they wanted to do. And then, so now, and mind you, the Cleveland Cavaliers still had a super team. They still had Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, and Kevin Love. And I don't know motherfuckers must say, what? Because the whole notion was we need help and this and that and blah, blah. We need LeBron James to always need how, bro? You can't have all the good players on your team. Like, I mean, you don't want to work for nothing. I remember Charles Barkley said that in one of his on TNT one time in one of his, little rants that he was going off. Now, it wasn't really a rant. He was just talking about how, like, dude, you can't have all the good players on your team, my nigga. You can't have every fucking top 5 player on your team. Goodness fucking gracious. You got to beat somebody, bitch. You feel me? So, Cleveland Cavaliers still had a super team. Our team was just better. We made them look like they wasn't a super team. Okay? But, it's sad, bro, the way these people do, man, the way they talk. This nigga he put that together. That was on him. Got David Blatt fired and all that other shit. Nigga, LeBron James put that team together. So if it ain't enough, that's his fucking fault, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's seen the Warriors coming. It is what it is. So the Warriors basically stopped LeBron James from becoming the quote-unquote GOAT. He would never been the GOAT to me, but to y'all. Steph Curry and the Warriors prevented LeBron James from becoming a GOAT. And this is a part of my point with this video right here. The super team era is over. Okay? Because a team is who dismantled the super team era. The Golden State Warriors. And they're doing it again. Okay? Right now. So then, LeBron James, he felt like he accomplished his goal in Cleveland, which is to bring a championship to Cleveland. You know what I mean? Didn't have to be 4, 5, 6 of them. Just bringing one championship, that completes the mission. So now, but he still had beef with the motherfucking owner. Not beef, but they still didn't see eye to eye after he left that first time. So he just wanted to come back to complete the mission. Once he completed the mission, I think he was always going to go somewhere else. So now he goes to the Los Angeles Lakers, just trying to create another super team there. He ends up doing it. Get Anthony Davis, who at the time was a top 5 player in the league, so they say. You know what I'm saying? Creates another super team. Thinking that, the Warriors, you know what I'm saying, they're getting ready to start slowing down now, you know what I mean, KD finna leave or whatever. So now I'm going to be able to go back and, you know what I mean. But so basically, the whole super team, the reason why I feel like it's over, bro, is because, all of that was just to give y'all some backstory and just, in the history on what happened and why I feel like it's the super team era is over is because once again, this year you got LeBron James on the Lakers with Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis and Carmelo Anthony and Rajon Rondo and Dwight Howard and Trevor Ariza and all of these players, man. And guess what? It's not working. It's still early in the season. It's only been 20, 21, 22 games played for a lot of teams. So it's still early. But, bro, it's not working. And now on the flip side, if you look at the Golden State Warriors, they're probably a year ahead of schedule as far as being able to be back in contention for a championship. I knew we was going to come into, and it's to me, it's kind of like 2014, 2015 all over again, because coming into this year, I knew we would have a good team. We 18-2 though, bro. Like, I didn't see 18-2 out of our first 20 games, okay? And we don't even have Klay Thompson. You know what I'm saying? We got one top 75 player on our team. Really, Klay Thompson should have made that team. Draymond Green should have even made that team. I don't give a fuck. You feel me? He should have made that team. Damian Lillard shouldn't have made that team. Anthony Davis shouldn't have made the all-75 team. They just shouldn't have. They're not. Damian Lillard has not. He's a very great player. He hasn't done anything to me to be worthy of being one of the top 75 players of all time. Top 75? Like, bro, I mean, what has he done? He ain't even been to a finals. The closest he got is to a Western Conference Finals, and he didn't win a game. He got swept. And the nigga ain't never beat the Warriors in He's 0-10 against Steph Curry in the playoffs, bro. As I light up my blood. You know what I'm talking about? So, where was I at? I forgot, bro. I smoked too much weed. So basically, I forgot my train of thought, man. Anyway, fucking. So basically, you know, and let me say this too. I credit the Warriors, Steph Curry and the Warriors with being the team and the reason why the super team era is over. But they got the blueprint from the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs, you know, at the end of their dynasty run, you know, that was a part of the reason why too, is because really in the two finals that they played against the Miami Heat, they should have won both of them. They should have won both of them. Okay, if not for Ray Allen in Game 6, like, and if not for them missing a few free throws down the stretch, they would have won in 13 and in 14. And what was it? It was the team cohesion, the ball movement, the fact that, and it's another team that's homegrown. Manu Ginobili was drafted by the Spurs. Tony Parker was drafted by the Spurs. Tim Duncan was drafted by the Spurs. Kawhi Leonard drafted by the Spurs. So it's the same method, okay? And it shows to be like it's sustainable more than just putting a collection of motherfuckers together that ain't ever played together, may not have no type of cohesion and chemistry, and just saying, okay, we got all this fucking talent, so we think we're gonna win. Nah, a team that has been playing together and has cohesion and chemistry, and they just know each other's movements, and they just know what each other is going to do on the court. The coaches, like, that's going to win more times than not versus a team that just put together a collection of players that have all this fucking talent, but they ain't never played together before. You know what I'm saying? So the Spurs gave us the blueprint on how to do this thing. You know what I'm saying? So now, if we look at it right now, like I said, look at the Lakers right now. With all them fucking them niggas got fucking 2,000 Hall of Famers on their team and barely over 500. They're a 500 team right now. They struggling with bad teams, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's because the parts don't all fit together. The reason why the Warriors work is because, and the reason why it has worked all of these years is because all the parts fit. All the parts fit. You don't got 2 or 3 players that all that do the same fucking thing. And you know what I mean? Like, Steph Curry does something that Klay Thompson don't do. Klay Thompson does something that Draymond Green don't do. Draymond Green does something that Steph Curry don't do. You know what I mean? Draymond Green does something that Steph don't do. I mean, that Klay don't do. Klay does something that Draymond, like, that's the reason why. So when you put all it together, it works. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, you know, this is why the super team era is over, because now you look at the Lakers. Now, even go look at the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I know motherfuckers say, oh, well, Kyrie Irving, he's there. True, I understand. But they got Kevin Durant and they got motherfucking James Harden. Okay? Like, the Golden State Warriors, when we went and smashed them last week, my nigga, it's just when we want to talk about, now Draymond Green is an all-star level player, but we're talking about, you know, offensive prowess, you know what I'm saying, and all that. What's good, my nigga?
What's up, though?
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, no, it's good. I'm on live right now doing my little shit.
Now, I got to the game yesterday, and you went on a live.
Oh, you was there?
Real humbug.
Yeah, that was
this too was fun.
Yeah, they did their thing.
Mm-hmm. I'll get at you in a minute.
Yeah. You about to come back? Okay, yeah. That's my neighbor right there, man. We just politicking. So man, fucking The reason why I feel like the super team era is over. Look at the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying? They got Kevin Durant and James Harden should be enough. As far as like, you know, it's not like as far as being able to to compete. But look, that's what's going on. Yeah, they're a good team. They start out a little slow, but you know what I'm saying. Now they're picking up. They are the number one seed in the Eastern Conference right now, but it's the East. You know what I'm saying, and they don't have any signature wins yet this year. They've when they played the good teams, they lose. They just lost to the Suns their last game. That's the second best team in the league. They lost to us. We're the best team in the league. Opening night, they lost to the defending champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I mean? That's one of the top teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? I know the Milwaukee Bucks had a little slow start, but you know what I mean? They didn't won 7 in a row now. So now they're kind of, they're kind of picking it up, rounding into form. But the reason why is because what the Brooklyn Nets have right now, Kevin Durant is doing his damn thing. You know what I mean? If not for Steph Curry, he's the MVP of the league. You know what I'm saying? But Kevin Durant is always going to be a great player. He always going to be able to get his. The problem is he doesn't necessarily make nobody better. And James Harden, he seems like he is it's taking them a little bit to adjust to the new rules of you ain't gonna just be able to drive to the lane and just catch somebody's arm under and act like they hindering you from going up and getting the basket. You know what I mean? Like faking fouls and shit. You know what I mean? So because of that, he looks like a bit of a lesser player. Okay? And what it is that, bro, you can't just put James Harden and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving together and say, okay, we finna win it. Just look at last year. Look at who the champs are right now, the Milwaukee Bucks. They've been through the wars the past 3-4 years, okay? Middleton, Drew Holiday, Giannis, a few more. They've all played together for 3-4 years or more now. Drew Holiday, I think, was he barely came like 2 or 3 years ago, but Middleton and Giannis, and there's cohesion there. You know what I'm saying? Because they've played together for so long. So that's the reason why they were able to beat the Brooklyn Nets last year. People, oh no, it was because Kyrie Irving would hurt. Look, Kyrie Irving got hurt at the end of game 4. Okay, they was already getting ready to lose that game, so the series was going to be tied up 2-2, even with Kyrie Irving. So to me, I feel like they was going to people. Oh, if Kyrie Irving is there, there's no way that. I don't agree with that. I think that the Milwaukee Bucks was going to win that series regardless. They started out shaky, but that's why it's a series and it's 7 games. You don't win it after the first 2. It's the first to 4, not the first to 2. So the Milwaukee Bucks are another. It's just proving my point of this video. The super team era over, dog. Giannis said, nah, I ain't finna go team up with no nigga. I ain't finna. And he did something that Kevin Durant still haven't done. Yeah, Kevin Durant, you got you 2 little easy-ass motherfucking rings because you came to a team that was already a championship caliber team. So it was easy. You better not have lost. You know what I mean? You better won a fucking championship, nigga. You come to a team that's already winning championships and won 73 games and shit. You know what I'm saying? But so yeah, he got his 2 rings and the little 2 finals MVPs or whatever. That's because the team he was playing with. He didn't say, oh, okay, nigga, Kevin Durant. You was over there with Russell Westbrook and James Harden and Steven Adams and who the fuck else y'all? Nigga, y'all had a squad over there. You couldn't win with that? Come on, man. So no, he's not that. He's a great player. He's an all-time great player. He don't make his teammates better. He don't make the team better. Okay? He just don't. He's a bucket getter. That's what he do. He just get buckets. And that's what, he get paid a lot of money to do it. But it's 5-on-5 in the NBA. It's not 1-on-1. If it's 1-on-1, Kevin Durant gonna win the championship every year. You know what I mean? Because he's basically like a tall ass Steph Curry. You feel me? So, but it's not. It's 5-on-5 in the NBA, bruh. So the other parts matter. That's the reason why, to me, Steph Curry is the best player in the world, because as far as when it comes to the NBA, because of his own individual talents and what he can do, but also just his presence on the court makes everybody else better. Now they getting open shots and getting backdoor cuts and layups and all of that other shit, because everybody's so focused on Steph Curry, because the nigga can shoot from fucking half court. You know what I'm saying? So the super team era is over, dog. It's over because of the Golden State Warriors. Because what the Golden State Warriors have shown is that if you have a team, a real team, with a collection of players that were homegrown, and like I said, I'm gonna keep using the same words. They have chemistry, they have cohesion, they're connected. You know what I'm saying? There's a rapport there. It ain't just like, hey, my nigga, you a top 5 player, I'm a top 5 player. We ain't never played together, but we finna play together now. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. So to me, what the Golden State Warriors have shown, and they're doing it right now, because there's a surprise, and nobody thought that the Warriors was gonna be 18-2 after 20 games this year. You know what I'm saying? They knew Steph Curry was gonna be doing what he doing, but not that the team, especially without Klay Thompson and our second-year player James Wiseman. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, look at Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is improved. That shows they know how to develop talent. Okay. So the Golden State Warriors have shown that if you are a team that's together, you can beat a collection of talent that may have more talent than you, but they don't necessarily know how to play off of each other together. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically it, dog. That's basically it right there. You know what I mean? I feel like the super team era is over, because no matter how much talent you put together, if it's a team in the league that got that chemistry and they even just got a little bit of talent, they have a better chance of beating a team that's top heavy with 2 and 3 or possibly 4 top 10 players in the league and all that. But then the rest of their team is so-so with talent, and they don't have no cohesion because they ain't never played together. So that's why I feel like the super team era is over. Golden State Warriors and some of what the San Antonio Spurs did at the end of their run has shown and proven that you ain't gotta flip flop teams and bounce around the league like a fucking prostitute. You know what I'm saying? To win the championship. You feel me? You can stay right where the fuck you at. Okay. If you are a player of Steph Curry's caliber, if you're a player of Giannis's caliber, of Kevin Durant's caliber, of LeBron James's caliber, you can win a championship by just being, on a great team and just making sure that your organization add the right necessary parts around whoever the star player is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can be done. So that's basically the end of that. Super team era is over. That don't mean that people ain't gonna steal, that teams ain't gonna still try to, form super teams and all that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I ain't never had nothing. I'm just saying that just because you come together, Kevin Durant and Kyrie and James Harden and LeBron James and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook and all that, that don't mean you're gonna win a championship, bro. When you got a team, that's when you win a championship, a real team. Okay, so hopefully y'all understand my point and what why I'm saying that I feel like the super team era is over. And yeah, that's basically it, dog. I'm gonna be back with another video a little later. I got a few more topics. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get to some football shit coming up soon. I've been doing a lot of basketball shit, a lot of LeBron. Oh, I'm gonna talk about LeBron James. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna talk about LeBron James. That's just what I'm gonna do. I'm his biggest hater. I don't give a damn. I'm proud of it. You know what I'm talking about? I always recognize how great he is. He's an all-time great player. Never said he wasn't. You know what I mean? Your ass ain't better than Michael Jordan, though, bitch. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just, you're not even, to me, he's not even better than Kobe Bryant. So it's just, ask NBA players who they rather, yeah. You know what I mean? NBA players, this beard, Kobe. Yeah. So yeah, RP my nigga, man. I still can't believe that nigga gone. That shit fucked me up. But yeah, man. Super team era over. You know what I'm saying? It's been proven by the Golden State Warriors. It's been proven in the past by San Antonio Spurs, and even somewhat the Phoenix Suns and what they doing this year and what they have been doing the past couple of years since they've had Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? The Suns ain't no super team. That's Chris Paul, that's Devin Booker, and that's DeAndre Ayton, and a lot of other great, good pieces around them, like the young nigga that's getting a lot of talk for being defensive player of the year. I forget his name, but the tall, lanky nigga, he like the second or third year player. And then they got Jay Crowder, and like they got a team. You know what I'm saying? That works well together and that fits together well. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why the Houston Rockets almost beat us, the Golden State Warriors, in 2018. Because even though that was Chris Paul's first year with them, all the other parts were already there. James Harden, Clint Capella, what's the nigga name? That Eric Gordon, the coach they had at the time. Like, it was they had so they just added one piece. Chris Paul, and that's the piece that they needed. You know what I mean? LeBron James, all he wanted to go do, he wanted every year, he wanted a whole new team. A whole new team. You know what I'm saying? Shit just don't work like that, nigga. That's why your ass got a losing record in the finals, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So the super team era is over, man. Because you don't need, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I think that teams are seeing that. I mean, obviously, a team is going to always try to get the most talent that they can. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? If you can get a whole bunch of niggas together, that's, you know what I mean? I understand that. But look around the landscape of the league and see if there's, any other teams out there that could possibly be more team oriented than you and could possibly beat you. And if so, it may not be the best idea to just go grab all these fucking all-stars and just try to put them together and just think you're going to just win a championship like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically it, dog. Like I said, hopefully I explained myself thoroughly to where y'all understand my point about why I feel like the super team era is over. Not over as far as people ain't going to put super teams together no more, but it's over as far as, players, like it's an automatic championship if you come together. Nah, ain't no automatic championship. You got to play the games, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's teams out here that are, like I said, team oriented, cohesive, and got their chemistry down that will beat one of them other super teams 9 out of 10 times if the super team, don't know how to play together. So that's just what that is. Super team era over, bitch.